Farm4Profit podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm4Profit podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm4Profit podcast.
And listeners, welcome back to the Farm4Profit podcast here on a Farm4Fun episode. This is going to be a lot of fun, don't you think?
It's not our normal show, and I love it.
It is. We got Tanner, Corey, Dave all sitting in studio with our guests today. And I think he's brought a friend. I wonder what his friend's named.
Oh, yeah. Do you think it has a name?
I hope it's got a name.
We're going to find out.
We will. Listeners, today's episode is brought to you by Pattern Ag, predicting pest and pathogen risks in your field. Don't gamble with your yields. Go to www.pattern.ag today.
This is the show we should have done the jingle for that. We've got the perfect person to make it.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Do you even remember what it was?
You got to know when to hold them.
That was a good.
Know
that was
when
a
to
good,
fold 'em.
That slogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? What? Say that again.
Don't gamble with your yields.
Yeah. Predicting pest and pathogen risks.
Don't gamble with your yields.
Yeah.
Don't risk it in your fields and don't gamble with your yields. You got
Jeez.
it. We did it. We sang a song.
We did.
I don't know if it published, though.
No, I was on the show, I think.
It was out. Listeners, this is what you get to put up with every single week. We've got a Farm4Profit podcast on Mondays, fun on Thursdays. We're having a little bit of a loose, fun time here with our guests today. So if you like what you've got going on, make sure you hit subscribe, leave us reviews, let us know. And we've got an example of one of those listener reviews today.
It's from Apple Podcasts. Blessed to grow berries. Is that the name?
That was the username.
That's a long username. It's like a sentence.
Yeah.
I love the show. Enjoy listening to it at work. It has helped me as a first-generation farmer and business owner.
Did you glitch there? What just happened?
Well, I can't read.
Oh, okay.
But we are blessed to have.
It's like his controller stopped
Well,
working.
you know, it threw me off when it wasn't a username; it was a sentence, and then I tried to read more than one sentence. That's where I screwed up.
Blessed to grow berries. We're blessed to have you as a listener. And for you, listener, we have a goal. It's 2 million downloads, which means you have to share.
Yes.
You are going to have to share this with all of your friends. For us to meet that goal, we need your help flat out. Can you share this, and whether you like the person or not, share it with them?
Right.
That's right.
And also, you can always call us or text us, 515-207-9640. Leave Tanner a voicemail.
Yeah, we haven't had any in a little while here. We had a couple of Happy Father's Day ones, but it's been a little while since then. But let's see if we can get us launched into today's episode.
Could have scooted it forward a little bit. Or is this all it's going to be? All right, here we go. Oh, the beats is going to drop. Today on the Farm4Fun show, we step off the normal path to meet up with a past guest from the first year of the Farm4Fun series. We are extremely lucky because this guy is local and we get to listen to him whenever we want. And by listen, he is an artist. He's a musician. He's here to chat, play some music for us, hang out, and promote his new album called Thank You Kindly that comes out on August 1st, 2023. Please welcome from Central Iowa, Mr. Royce Johns.
Yes!
What is up?
I think that's the most excited anybody's ever been about what I do.
Oh, man.
You're hired.
We could do
I thought you were going
that.
to say I'm high.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
maybe.
Actually.
Absolutely.
Did I get it?
Possibly.
Get her punched. Welcome. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
This is going to be a lot of fun because we've got a lot more technology in the studio than we had the first time you showed up.
I think so.
And
He's
then
been-
you added even better technology.
Yeah. Royce brought his own stuff. He's got his own mic stand.
I mean, otherwise I'm like doing this number here.
Right.
All long-necked on the bar.
Yep.
We don't want anything like that.
So Royce has had a rough day. Royce called me this morning, and normally when a guest calls in the morning and is like, hey, it's not a good sign.
I'm sick. I hate to do that. I'm not
Yeah.
We
and
immediately go to the backup list.
had to put down the family dog today. I'm sorry. Sorry, man.
That's how she goes.
Thoughts and prayers. Like, hey, dog's a man's best friend. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're here is very amazing.
He was a good boy.
Yeah, good boy.
He made it 14 years. He was a mini schnauzer.
Oh, wow.
His name was Elvis.
Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
I told you, though, after the fact, that I was like, you better have something rattling around up there, right? Make a good song.
No.
You know, that's a
My
country
me-
song right there.
My memories of my dog are mine.
That's
They're
fair.
not for other people.
Wow, okay.
That's very fair.
Maybe, though. I don't know. Not right now.
Maybe down the road.
Yeah.
Maybe down the road.
I enjoyed my time with him.
Yep. That's a good boy.
Nice.
So anyway, we met with you in 20. What did we decide? It was 2020, right?
I'll look it up officially.
I
but
feel like it was 19, but I get.
Well, we didn't have the fun show until June of 20.
I swear it was like fall 19, but you check me on it. I don't know.
I will.
So we had a summer fun series where we had some musicians. We had.
I wouldn't be part of that. I'm not fun.
Oh, you're fun.
No.
We had Royce. Who else did we have?
Ellie Mae.
Ellie
Oh
Mae.
yeah.
And we had,
The Rocker Guys.
Not Quite Brothers.
Not quite brothers.
And then Tyler Richton.
Tyler Richardson.
Yeah.
There you go.
They got the current jingle. I don't know if you've heard.
High bank booze.
Yep. They've got the current jingle that starts out the Farm for Fun.
September 28th, 2020.
September 28th.
Really?
Back Pocket Brewing.
I get. Yeah.
So we probably recorded that in like August or maybe early September. Probably early September.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, because I remember it was like late fall. Really, man.
You know, I think we were pushing that fall to try and find those outside of agriculture because we
didn't know how harvest would go.
Correct.
Yeah. Trying to find people that are busy in the combines and out in the fields. So we wanted to get some musicians. And now it's just fun to,
Catch up.
shift gears, catch up with friends, have some music. Because everyone loves good music. You just got done playing out
Not
at Dave's.
everybody.
Well, those people suck. So
They keep me honest.
pull up his website here, Dave. Or you had it up earlier.
Did yeah.
I wanted to see his
Schedule.
schedule because this show comes out
3rd of August.
so right after the
Oh,
release.
man.
Yeah,
Look at
perfect
that.
time.
He's got a full schedule this
So
summer.
you've got a couple of events coming up, and then you head to the Iowa State Fair.
What do you play? 4 or 5 days?
I have JR's the 10th, Jalapeno Pizza 13th, and Craft the 18th. But I think there's one more I'm kind of tentatively talking about. I think I have 3 for sure, but maybe 4.
I mean, you don't have this podcast as a private event on the schedule. I feel a little left out.
Well, I didn't know till like 3 days
Well,
ago.
yeah.
Corey,
Yeah, no.
answer your phone. Get up in there and show me a text message,
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 events in July.
And being dad.
And being down.
And building a house.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say you're
Yeah,
building
let's
a house,
catch-
aren't you?
Let's catch up. So
I'm
so
about
for
a
the-
third as busy as Dave is on his off day.
Yeah, man, Dave doesn't have off days.
Ding dong.
All right, our listeners may not have gone all the way back to 2020 to catch your episode. So start off. Who is Royce? How do you introduce yourself?
That's a great question. What's the term? Mostly picker, occasional grinner. I don't know. I grew up about 6 miles south of here.
Yep.
So right off Sheldon Drive in Polk City.
Yep.
And then we moved to Elkhart. Well, we lived in Pennsylvania for a couple of years for my dad's job. And then we moved to Elkhart when I was 13. Lived there for a handful of years.
One of the fastest growing towns in Polk County, I think.
Yep.
Per capita.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, because it started with 12 people.
Well,
I actually just got a bicentennial. A buddy of mine, John Barber, who owns the Cellar Winery, sent me a 30-page PDF of the history of Elkhart from 1846 to 1976.
really? Did it have the moving of the town?
It has everything from when it was called Ottawa, where I'll be moving eventually. It's like on that corner, 56 and 126.
Yep.
That's where Elkhart originally was. There's like that drainage kind of corner there.
Yeah, so that's my uncle's farm. I farm
On the northeast corner of that?
Yeah.
Or southeast corner?
the northeast corner of that, where Eric lives or used to live.
I don't know who lives there now. There's like a 3-car garage, and there's like on the northeast corner, 126 and
Yep,
56.
that's my grandpa's place.
Yeah.
Yep. So that whole kind of compound is all my.
That's
my
where
family.
old Elkhart was.
That was where old Elkhart
Yes,
was.
it's called Ottawa, and it was, and it's nuts. They have like a survey, a platted survey showing where all like the businesses were, and like the history of the town, where there's Indians and the like I mean, it's nuts. It's insane.
My uncle used to tell us that, and we thought he was full of crap.
No, they
He's like,
burned.
no,
They
this is
burned
where
a guy
the-
to. They burned a guy to death. Like
Yeah.
There's like an insane amount of.
And the
history
reason
to it.
they moved was because the railroad came through, wasn't it?
I don't.
And then
I don't know.
I think they moved about a mile.
He quit at page 3.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was 30 pages, Corey. That's more than you've read all year.
But it's the same thing. Like, so over in Sheldall.
I still can't read. He can read, man.
Yeah, Sheldall used to be bigger than Slater, if you can believe that. But then the railroad came through. People were moving houses a mile because the railroad came through. They would literally pick them up and move them, or take them down, and put them back up.
My first house that I lived in out in Elkhart, it was rolled into town from Enterprise.
Rolled? Mm-hmm. How do you roll a house?
I don't know, dude. The lore goes that they moved that house into Elkhart.
The
Oh,
lore.
like on
That's
wheels.
not a word I use every
The
day.
lore, baby.
I don't know what I used
I was
to
gonna say there's a lot of houses rolling in during the Drake show, but like,
I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? When they would move a house.
yeah,
in
they like crib it up and
1900.
Yep.
1910.
Yeah, it's not like the Amish to where they would just jack it up and carry it.
right.
How would you move it? I mean, would you just get a bunch of logs and like 15 horses and just go real slow
Yeah.
Yeah.
and take like 4 days to get there?
Or just like
maybe a day.
Or just like we've seen to where they do barn raising. Or I mean, they move barns. They just they end up with 600 people. They all just
A lot
grab
of
a
heavy
hold.
But what
timbers.
they would do it? They would roll it on logs on the highway is 13 foot wide.
Right.
How would that work back then? I guess there's no telephone poles back then.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
No power lines.
Yep. So I mean, if you had enough manpower,
Yeah.
you
Many
could
hands
move
make
it.
light work.
Yeah.
Really?
Probably.
You're gonna make me look it up.
Pull it up on YouTube.
How do you roll a house?
Pull it up, Jamie? I want to
Pull
see
up
that.
Jamie. Yeah,
I want to see a
Dave's
video.
The Jamie here of the Joe Rogan podcast. Rolling of a house.
So, you live in Elkhart. We got that much out of it.
Yeah.
You're a singer. We got that much. And you're building a house.
Yep.
So that's new. Kids, wife,
Yep.
family, whole deal.
Oh yeah.
All right. And
Did you have kids last time you were here in 20?
Yes,
Yes.
my daughter was 6 months old.
That's right.
No, she would have been
She was pretty
8
fresh.
months old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
7,
fresh. I was
8
gonna
months.
say.
And now
Now I
Yeah,
got two.
two.
Yeah, I got my daughter's 3.5. My boy is.
So you have
8
been
months.
busy.
Oh yeah, a lot of practice.
gonna keep. Yeah, practice is good. Practice. I like practice. You gonna keep popping them out?
No.
No, two and done. I think that's where we're at too.
So far, YouTube is either showing me how to TP, so toilet paper roll a house, or you roll up a bounce house.
Dave, literally, how did they roll a house back in the day on YouTube?
Back in the day.
That's what it came up.
Back in the day is a relative term.
No, check it out.
My
What's
daughter's
this?
asked me, "Did you used to do this back in the day?"
See, Google even default puts it in.
Because
Back
you
in the-
because you
Nope,
already typed
it
in.
already had it in
Oh
there.
my
I'm telling
gosh.
you.
You need to go to YouTube.
Oh, we'll get there.
So we know where you live, we know you got kids, and we know that you pick guitar.
I pick a guitar.
You're a realtor.
No, that's right. He was.
I had my real estate license. I got it during COVID because I got bored. I sat around. And
Everyone was a realtor during COVID.
yeah, I mean, why not? It was. I mean, rates.
Free $20,000 bills.
Well, kinda, I mean, it was.
free $20,000.
Honestly, I did it mostly out of just I just like learning new stuff all the time. I get really bored and unsatisfied with myself unless I'm like constantly struggling in something.
Right.
And I'm horrible at school, so I thought, why not just do the school? And I did it, and I tested out in like seven days, and I didn't think I was gonna get it, and then I
There's
got
a
it.
school for realty?
Oh God, yeah. No, it's like a whole. It's like a
It's a cult.
60-hour class, basically.
Really?
Yeah. And I just did it, and just to learn, I just want to know. I want to know more. I want to know
Yeah.
what the whys and whats. And I did it, and then I did it for a year, and then we got caught up in I don't know, just a bunch of new development from D.R. Horton. They're like giving away houses in Ankeny when they
Right.
first came, like 0% down,
Yeah.
or it was 3% down. Sorry, and it was 2.5% interest on 30 years. So like me, my wife's best friend, my cousin, my neighbor from Elkhart, and another guy, we all bought at the same time. We all live on the same block right now.
Yep.
And it was like you get a house for $242,000, and today it's worth I think it appraised like $350.
Right.
I mean, it's insane. And at the time, I thought that was a lot of money at $240. And now it's like you can't even buy a teepee.
Well, and if you were to buy that same house at the same price at 7.5% interest today, like you would.
$2,200 a month.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Craziness.
back then it was like I think our payment's still $1,000 a month because it hasn't assessed yet.
Right.
Because actually this September it'll assess.
Yeah.
and it's like $1,000 a month for a new
Yeah.
house. And
I live in town, and our goal was to move back out to the country at some point, but we're at 2.25%.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's free money.
15-year note.
Yeah, it's a 15-year note.
Yeah,
but
like no way, none of the 30.
yeah, that is a 15-year note. But it's like, I can't.
2.25. How do you get 2.25?
I don't know.
You
Ask
stab,
Tanner.
Corey?
Ask Tanner.
I got 2.5 at 15, and I thought that was nuts.
Yeah.
2.25.
Tanner got under that.
I'm under 2.
But he's a banker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm under 2. I could kind of keep an eye on it.
He knew when
He
to
just
pull
calls
the
the Fed and says, "Hey, I need free money."
Yeah.
You're under 2? I've never heard anybody under 2.
I haven't heard anybody under 2.
196.
Jeez.
That's just a bragging right. It's not even about
Credit
the money
score
at that
must be
point.
If I didn't do that right, wouldn't you be worried?
I would be.
Your banker can't get it figured out.
Right. So no one's going anywhere because all of our interest is way too good.
Yeah,
We're stuck where we're at.
Death, divorce, and job changes. Really
Yeah, my
about the
first
only
house
reason
was at
properties sell.
8%.
Oh,
I mean, that's not, honestly, it's not ridiculous.
No.
Depending on the dollar amount, it's not like 18%. Like
No.
my
Right.
dad's, I
I'm
think my
done
dad's
looking.
fine.
I'm done looking at house moving stuff. I feel like I'm out of the
what's
conversation.
ridiculous about it is it's a lot more dollars that the house is worth
Yeah.
now at 8%. 8% on 100,000 or 150
Oh, yeah.
wasn't that big of a deal.
Still
400,
8%.
500,000.
It was when we only got paid $4.25 an hour compared to you guys making $15 an hour for
Wait, what
flipping
is
a
this?
Who's
burger.
getting paid $15 an hour?
Dude, my first job, I made $7.15 an hour. I
Oh,
worked at a
mercy.
car wash, man. And it was hot and it sucked, but I loved
You see
it.
the guy on TikTok that's the singer that worked in a car wash and he gets the echo and
Uh-uh.
Oh, it was 680. Was I 685
I made
at Fairway?
630. I think it was 635
635.
when I was detasseled for guards.
I just saw a sign yesterday. It was like $18 an hour and it was at Chick-fil-A.
But the minimum wage is still like $7.25, isn't it?
Yeah, but no one's paying that because
No.
no one's going to work for that.
No one wants to work for frickin' $100,000 a year. Just want to look at.
I go to
live at
work.
home.
You want to hire me for $100,000 a year?
No, I'm not
Corey,
trying to hire anyone. I'm
I
just
will
saying.
be your personal assistant.
I'm just saying. Play me a song, peasant.
I'm here.
Yes, sir.
He's in there cleaning out a grain bin, and just Royce is standing in the doorway, just playing away.
You think I'm kidding, but I like physically suffering more than I enjoy singing sometimes.
I can see that.
I do.
I would.
I
Was over at Corey's on Saturday, physically suffering.
I did put Tanner to work on Saturday. He did all the work that day. I will.
Well, physically suffering's easy because, like singing, there's so many things going through your mind. Like, oh, am I doing this right? Or am I doing? What are they thinking about this? All this stuff. But when you're just sweating and doing something, you're like, this is the only thing I can be doing right now.
It's
Right.
just like loan underwriting. Same thing. All this stuff's going through your brain. All I had to do is run a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Cut the right board out.
And bring your own chainsaw.
BYOC. Yeah.
And his bar oil was in an
your
old
own.
Welch's
I know.
plastic container.
Classic.
I dropped that. I saved as much of that as I could, but I basically backed over
I
that jug.
busted a top on one of them too.
Yeah.
So we were cutting these out. Is what we were
Oh.
getting these beams inside the studio here. What are these 3x12s?
Yeah.
Those suckers are hard to get out.
Out of a corn crib?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They use ring shank nails every
Oh,
2
big
inches.
ones.
You can see them.
They're hard, dude.
So how'd you get these
Yeah.
out?
I bought those on Facebook.
I knew it. I knew it. I was like, how do you think Dave got those? Like,
No.
So we
Jeez.
went into the overhead bins
Yeah.
with the corn crib, and I cut down with the chainsaw for the boards going along the side of it, and then come through and cut them both off and dropped them into the alleyway.
Yep. I don't know. I have done it before, but the ones that I got were normally bridge planks like this.
Yep.
They look about like bridge planks for the listener.
So how much did you pay per foot or whatever? You remember?
I think for all these, I give $300.
Holy cow! It was not
spent
worth
way too much
It was
time.
not worth the work we did on Saturday.
I was like, it's not worth me trying to cut them out of anybody's for that. So
Wow, what a deal!
All right, back to Royce. So we're slowly pulling shit out of you. Kids, we know where you live. You play guitar. You were a realtor, but now you're not a realtor.
I wasn't a realtor. I was a musician that had a realtor's license because I get up at 6 a.m. and my brain goes all over the world.
Yeah.
And I got to do something during the daytime when I want to work.
But you're an investor too, aren't you? You're a property owner.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I bought.
Do you own any farm ground?
I do not. I have commercial and industrial and residential, but I do not have farm ground yet. I'd like to get some farm ground, but it don't make no sense. I mean, it's almost as bad as making a record. You know.
Make it make sense, Dave.
Make it make sense.
long-term hold. Don't think of it as short term, because what he's investing in is 5 to 12%, and the farmland rent that Corey's going to pay is 2%.
Right.
So what's the return on investment? Well, kind of like making that CD. How many have you sold so far?
5 to 12%. What are you talking about? For residential real estate?
For residential to commercial, yeah.
Residential, if you're not 10 to 15, you shouldn't be buying it.
Oh, look at that.
Even higher.
I mean,
See,
just a headache alone. If you're managing it yourself and doing everything yourself.
the real sales pitch is this, though. There's the 3 T's. You have tenants,
Toilets?
Yep.
toilets, and turmoil.
And farm, you don't have that.
And you
Cash
don't have
rent.
No.
Well, I mean,
You still have a tenant. You might still
you have a
turmoil.
tenant that can't. If they what if their crop? What if they have a bad year and they can't
Doesn't
pay
matter.
you?
They pay you
Crop
up front.
insurance.
What if they pay you up front?
Yeah.
They don't have to.
Most of mine that I negotiate is full payment one time, and then you're good. And if they lose on their farm ground for bad decisions, it's their problem.
I mean, I'm not
God, what
against
a
it,
dick.
but you're talking. I mean, in this area, to buy 40 acres, you're talking.
Oh, it's
what is it? 12 to 20,000 an acre.
Yep.
And I've penciled it out. I mean, on even local people that I've even contemplated buying it from. It's like, if I was to do it in today's deal, even if I got a loan for 5% on a 25-year AM, it's still I would lose $1,500 a month.
Yep.
But yeah, the long-term hold, I get it. If I had $1 million I had to buy something with, I'm not against the idea of it, but it's like, why wouldn't I go buy 10 houses and then hire a PMI company just to handle it?
So the way I see it is it's for people with cash,
Yep.
right? If you're going to go borrow, especially at these interest rates, it doesn't work.
Right.
It's a store of wealth, and it's a poker chip basically for them to trade. Also, if you think of it like the stock market, you could put your $1 million in, and then you get that 2 or 3% dividend. I would call it the cash rent is a dividend.
Yep.
Right? You get cash flow every year from it. Your long-term play is the appreciation.
And
of
it's
land.
about 12% over
Because
15
if you just
years.
buy a stock and it goes up, you didn't really make that much money unless you sell it.
You're saying 12% when you sell it over 15 years.
It's kind of
if you were to
that's the
sell it.
USDA average.
That's not an annualized.
Yeah, that's if you were to sell it over 15 years. But okay, you buy. I mean, we can do any comp. I'm not going to go at this because Dave knows more than I do. So I'm not saying like I know. This is just my personal experience. I'm not a multimillionaire. I don't
Yet.
have $1 million to go buy 40 acres in Polk County.
Single millionaire.
Maybe,
Just a
arguably.
regular an air.
No, not yet.
You can't have an album called Truck Stop Souvenirs and not be.
No, not yet, man. That's why I drive a Grand Marquis. I'll sell
That's
part of
what
the-
rich people do,
That's
man.
part of the shtick.
Rich people drive the old
It
crappy
ain't no
cars.
stick. I've had it for 7 years.
It ain't no stick.
I've driven Panther platform. That's a whole different podcast on why I drive those. But no, like I like Elkhart.
Yep.
I'm semi from there in a sort of sense, and we bought a piece of property in town right by the railroad tracks. I bought it in February 21. I surveyed it, cleaned it off, I did everything to get it going. Sold half to my neighbor, and he kept his bike shop in town. Which initially the goal was to keep him in town because nobody had any land for sale or nobody would sell him any land.
Yep.
And I financed the whole thing. It sat on my shoulders for almost 24 months, and then built and it's more I look back on it, it's insane, but I don't know. It was an investment in my community. Like, I'm never going to sell my property north of him, ever. Me and my best friends are 50-50 partners on that, and Dylan Pitts. I think you might have went to high school with him.
I remember the name. I think he was.
But I let him in on
Younger
that.
than me?
And
So that's the Mean Machine.
So yeah, the Mean Machine is the south. That whole parcel was a 300 by 40, 300 by 50 parcel, and I cut 150 off by 50 for Rob.
And so that's the Mean Machine. That's like a bike shop, right?
Correct.
And,
And
then
then
now what's
We're
the other-
talking choppers or we're talking pedals?
All chopper, yeah, like Harley.
Yeah.
They do national Harley competitions. They do really good work, man. I mean, for like Elkhart, Iowa. I mean, they're like a national, regional poll in Elkhart. And when I first talked to Rob, I mean, it's really just a funny story how it all worked out. But I mean, it was a lot of work. It was a 24-month knife fight with contractors, the city, surveyors, engineers.
Right.
I mean, I'll never develop again. I lost so much hair.
Yeah. And what's your side?
Flex base.
Flex base.
Yeah, just like a post frame, trench footing, above grade, 18-foot tall buildings.
So for like plumbers,
Anything.
HVAC type.
Yeah, like we have the Holton Homestead.
Oh,
Sarah Todd and Tyler Holton own and run that. They sell like honey, cast iron pans, just different stuff, But they're really, they had a business northwest of Elkhart about 1.5 miles from their home, But they ran out of space and they got a bay. And actually, they're polishing floors today. So they finished out a bay. They have like a loft area, And then the other 2 bays, it's a solar company right now. It's just like warehousing for solar panels.
right.
But
So when the government subsidies go away for the solar panels, it'll be probably like an OnlyFans recording.
I've had so many ideas, Corey. You have no idea.
There's
dude.
one of those going in Slater.
Yeah, so
I heard that.
Is there?
what? I've heard strip club, OnlyFans recording studio. Yeah.
I mean, if they
An
can pay
ice-
6 months up
an
front,
ice cream shop.
why would we ask
Yeah.
questions?
Oh, it'd be a good ice cream shop.
Yes, an ice cream shop.
Yeah.
I love this.
I don't know. I don't like to pull the investor hat too much. I feel like I've just been really lucky, and I've worked really hard. I'm not gonna say I haven't, and I've made a lot of bets, but I have been very lucky. A lot of things have happened in my favor that should not have.
Risk a lot to make a lot. Risk a little to make a little.
Luck's only good for so long, right? You gotta.
No, I
And
know.
you got to put
Yeah.
yourself in position
Yeah.
where the luck happens.
Have you ever heard the quote, the harder I work, the luckier I get?
Yeah.
It's true.
There you go.
Dave must be the luckiest man I know.
Oh, Jesus. You're telling me the number of
Does he
speeding
sleep?
tickets he doesn't have to pay?
Well, I have been pulled over.
Dave will represent himself in the courtroom out on a speeding
I'm going to
ticket.
get my freaking law license here. I'm going to.
Why not?
I'm going to.
Why not?
Tell you.
Yeah. Self-practicing.
If I was a little more ambitious, I would go to school for it. But I'm just I can hardly read like Corey.
Yeah,
I'm
I
working
can't
on
read
it.
2 sentences.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a pretty good armchair everything, so.
All right, so let's get back to the guitar playing and the music side of things.
Sure.
Who have you had the pleasure of playing with or opening for?
Last summer, so July of 22, River Ruckus. I got to open for Dina Carter.
Okay.
Strawberry Wine, and then Cadillac 3 and Sawyer Brown. So I was first that day, and then Dina played Cadillac 3 and Sawyer Brown.
Sawyer Brown's still good?
Yeah, I stuck around. I think I stuck around for a handful of their songs, but I was pretty burned out by the end of the day.
Right. I always jammed
He's the
out
best
to
concert I've ever been to.
Sawyer Brown? I always jammed out to Sawyer Brown. They
I mean,
always had a
yeah.
CD or tape.
That was I feel like it's a long time. That was a long time ago.
I remember setting up that day, like doing sound check. I came up, I was plugging in my stuff, and I'm in and out in about 10 minutes, and this lady walked up on the stage, and I remembered it was Dina Carter. I didn't remember all the details. It was just like, hey, just be here at this for River Rocks. I'm like, sure. And she came up to me, she's like, hi, I'm Dina. I didn't think Dina Carter at the time. I thought she was like a tour manager for somebody else. I'm like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And she like pulled out her guitar out of her case and was sound checking. Because usually they'll have somebody else come up and sound check their stuff, and they'll stay on the bus.
Right.
And then, like, lo and behold, I don't know why, like an hour later, it just popped. I'm like, oh, man. And then we caught up afterwards, and she was really sweet, man. She was really nice. So she's like a Nashville native, which a lot of people are not. She's like from there.
Really? Yeah. That's
Did I ever tell you I met Dina Carter?
no.
So I worked at Hardee's. I was 14 years old. Made $4.25 an hour.
Jeez.
And her
the 30s?
bus stops at Hardee's because they wanted a sandwich. And she comes in the deal. And I'm like, that's their butt. Yep, there she walked in. So
Wow.
we got to make food for her at a fast food restaurant because they were hungry.
Fancy.
Did you make special food?
Not that I can remember.
Like off-menu stuff?
All I can remember
here's your
is
double patty.
Every person there was singing Strawberry Wine for the rest of the evening. That was what I remember. So everybody's like, what does she sing? What does she sing? I'm like, Strawberry Wine. Here.
That's funny.
How many albums you got out?
So I made a demo in 2017. I took that off the internet.
Took that off.
That's not good. And then I made a record out of songs my buddy Robert Deitch wrote, which is Truck Stop Souvenirs.
Yeah.
And then I made a record in 2019, and then we finished it in 2020, November 20. It was released November 2020. By the way, if you ever want a bad investment, go spend $20,000 on a record in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I could see that.
But we did that, Released it in November 2020. It flopped, of course.
When I think record, that's digital too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like 11 songs, you do CDs, and then you release it digitally.
Okay.
We had a distribution deal with Intercept Music, which was like a startup distribution, whatever. Some deal where they're supposed to have more connections to put your music out to more people.
Okay.
That felt once it was like a year contract thing. It dissolved. Well, rather than me uploading it like independently, like I should have, it got pulled from music service. Well, by this time I'm already working on a new one, so I'm not going to re-upload the old one because it'll show up as a new release. So I let it go, and then this record I wound up writing a bunch of songs like in a 10-day period in 2020, November 21, and then I wrote all those songs on that record, I think, in like less than a 2-week period.
Holy crap!
Yeah, I was just drunk, writing every day.
Just
I haven't really written anything myself like ever, and then I was brewing.
So these are all on this new record. These are all yours.
Yeah, I was brewing beer at home.
Yeah.
And going through a thing.
At least you know what the pattern is next time you need an album.
I don't know. I don't think I could do it again. I don't think so. But anyway, I wrote a bunch of songs, and I didn't really think anything of it. And I sent them to a buddy.
Wait. How do you get drunk while you're brewing beer? You're drinking other beer because
No.
the beer that you're brewing is not going to be ready yet.
No, because like it's staggered. So like you'll make 45, 50 beers, and then while the other ones are brewing 4 to 6 weeks later, you're drinking.
You got to
it.
drink that.
Yeah,
Correct.
You got to make room.
Yep, you got to see.
Got to reuse
See what I'm
bottles.
saying?
Yeah.
That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
The fridge is full. So, naturally. So all that beer went in me. And output came songs.
And you don't feel like such a drunk when you make it yourself.
You don't. You're like, I'm a craftsman.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
This is a craft beer.
You're a drunk. It's an excuse. See, and this is the part where you kid yourself. You say, I'm going to make beer and save money.
Yeah.
No,
you're not.
You just drink more beer.
Yeah. No, you're not.
Like, I can make craft beer for 40 cents a bottle. Yeah, right. 30 hours a week later, and you're drinking it all.
Time is money.
That is great. Well, why don't you grab the guitar and play us something off of the album here?
Because I haven't got paid yet. That's why.
Oh, man. I thought
that
you
was
did
a
this
guy.
for free.
That's right. Yeah, I thought you asked to be here.
Is there going to be a single, like the first one that's going to be pumped?
No, I think. Listen, I'm horrible at planning releases, and we've gone back and forth on the ideas of stuff, and we've sat on them. We've had these masters since December.
Okay.
And we were going back and forth. We actually reached out. We had 30 Tigers listen to it, and the VP at 30 Tigers listened to it and was like, "Man, this is really nice. If you were a nationally touring artist, and if you had national management and you're playing all the, what if you're trying to do that route, it could make sense, but I have no ambition for that.
Yeah.
I'm a local Yakel, whatever.
Yep.
I don't care.
And from the last podcast, you didn't want to go national because you just enjoy your life where you're at, right?
I do, man. If like music dissolved tomorrow, I would continue to do it on my own term, but like at the same time, it's just another thing I do, I guess. I don't know.
And you make a living at it. How many artists make a living being local? When I think of every struggling artist in Nashville,
Yep.
that country-wise, or every struggling, how many people kind of do what you do?
There's a lot of. The majority of what I do is cover songs. I'm entertainment in a certain sense. Like I can whip out 1,200 requests or whatever, and I get to play the artist hat very seldom.
Yep.
And because of this record, I guess I do. But I know guys that are 10 times more talented than me that are trying to do the thing, and they'll play gigs for $0, or they'll pay their band, to go on the road and do this thing in lieu of like 5 years from now, I'm going to be selling out Woolies, or I'm going to be selling out Seven Flags, 1,500 people. And at one point I had that dream, but you have kids and COVID happens, and you really realize how fickle the whole system is. Mm-hmm. And I just decided that I wasn't going to leave my my life up to other people's hands in that decision world. And plus, I'm not that talented.
He sells himself too short.
Yeah. So what song are you going to play?
Oh, this is a new one. This one's called "The Gang's All Here."
Were they there when you were brewing the beer?
I think so.
Just checking.
My friend Anger, oh, he's a wild one, often whispering in my ear. And if I did the things he told me, then I wouldn't be sitting right here. My friend Sadness keeps pretty quiet, trails closely, not far behind, singing sweet songs we used to know, bringing sorrow wherever she goes. We get together any old time they choose, but my friend Laughter, he takes after sister love and brother happiness. One can't live without the others, so just come on in, the gang's all here. Just come on in, the gang's all here.
Right.
Oh, nice.
A little idea for you.
Dude. George Jones.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
I had the Grand Tour in mind.
That's exactly. I had the Grand Tour vibe right there coming through.
That and Keep 'Em on the Toes by Brent Cobb was ringing in my ears.
I just love the picking. There's a lot of great things about that.
You know what they say? Good artists borrow, great artists steal.
So Tanner mentioned it earlier that you brought a friend, referring to your guitar, I assume. What, you got a name?
My
I was
guitar?
talking about the little voice in his head. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I see.
No, I was talking about the guitar.
Clevis.
Clevis.
That's Clevis right
That's
there.
Clevis.
Not a sexy lady name.
No, hell no.
You put him to work.
He's like a dirty 60-year-old man that just kind of hangs out with me enough. Sometimes does his job.
I love it. Well, this is typically where we take it and play a game with our host.
Okay, go.
So thank you so much for blessing us with that song. That was threw us off a little bit.
I like it.
So do you want to play Would You Rather, or do you want to play word association?
I like
with
the
it?
word association.
Are you going to play a game with the host, or are you going to play a game with the guest?
With the guest.
Okay.
Sorry,
I was ready to play a game.
I was lost in something.
I was dinged out.
All right, you both get to play. Corey and I will host. You two play.
Okay.
Word association. We're going to say a word. You say the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm ready.
Dave, you the same. You have to. He'll say it. You say it.
All right.
Coffee.
Go.
Bar.
Depression.
Dave wants to go to a coffee bar. The man who doesn't touch coffee wants to go to a coffee bar.
Dance.
Are you talking to me? Oh.
Yeah.
Can't.
Swing.
Okay. Yeah.
Doors.
So can't dance. He can swing dance. Really, it's you sit and play.
Yeah.
You're not up there running around the stage.
No, I can't dance with a lick, man.
Good.
Well, swing?
Well, he's a swing dancer.
Okay.
I'm swing dance. I'm answering with you.
Oh, okay, so you
Not
say
Yeah.
I'm
Swinger?
sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So don't listen. Yeah. He's trying to one up you.
Okay.
Laughter. Thinking pretty
I don't
long on
know.
this one.
Joyous.
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that works.
My girls, we started watching Seinfeld from the beginning.
Your girls?
My girls and I, yeah. We started
Really?
watching Seinfeld, yeah. I don't know why Saturday Night Live made me think of that. Just
All right.
kind of neat. Going back to my roots.
My turn. Farm.
Expensive.
For profit.
For profit. There you go.
Adventure.
Building.
Okay.
Montana.
So let's talk more about your building adventure.
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
I'm building a barnuminium. Like I wanted to buy it just like a house out in the country, but there's nothing for sale. And every house I've looked at, they're like $450,000 for a 1,000 square foot farmhouse with 2 acres.
Yep.
Yeah, that
And
needs redone.
that needs
built in
50 grand.
1960.
Yeah.
Not even like 1910 and like wonky stuff. Even if I put all my heart, money, and soul into it, I couldn't get it. Like I want a bathroom on the main level. You know, there's like little things that just like long term you want to have. Can't even get it at. And they want $1 million because there's yuppies out there that are going to pay it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not trying to compete with that, so I'm going to build a shed and live in it. So Polk County can write me a letter.
Dude, there's some badass barndominiums.
There
I
are
would
some.
rather be in one of those than some of these houses.
Do they still loan money to barndominiums on the secondary market? Does anybody do that?
You have to have comps. That's the biggest hold.
I bet there might be comps now.
Sure, to
There
some.
is
That's the
now.
biggest struggle is to find comps.
How many comps is it? 3 or 4? Like
4.
If I had 4, because there's 2 within a mile of mine.
Yep.
2 that are like really nice, but that's not 4.
And they're going to be comps that have sold.
Correct.
Not just houses that are close by.
Well, both have been built but not sold. So that wouldn't help them?
So there's no way to establish value.
We got to know
What
what,
about
they sold
assessment?
for.
Can you go off assessment?
No, those
Why?
are just people guessing.
Why
what they're
can't you
worth.
just go off living space
Yeah,
and
go off-
amenities?
No, you can't.
It's
Why?
a structure that people live in.
It doesn't fit into
It
the
di-
mold for the
Nope.
secondary market. If you're going to buy a package of mortgages, you expect them to be conventional homes unless you have.
They all got to look like 123
I don't
Main
know.
Street.
There's
That's
a
what I was
Facebook
telling you
group
the
for
other
it
day.
now. I think it's conventional.
It's a Facebook.
Okay, riddle me this. If you're a banker, right? Why do they look at a barnuminium any different from a stick-built home if it is a trench footing, like a poured trench footing? It's no different from a condominium or a townhouse. Townhouses don't have basements.
Right. Townhouses are also sold to a different portion of the secondary market, so they've got their own
They
portion.
put all the
Plenty of-
townhouses together.
Plenty of slab poured houses.
Yeah.
though.
What about like in Texas or in Florida? All those houses are slab, but they don't have basements.
Yeah, but that's not a comp for you here in Iowa.
I guess that's true.
Yep.
But it's being sold off to secondary market that's getting rolled into all the other conventionals that are
That's
just
correct.
that are just shitty 2x6 homes.
Yep. I don't disagree with the fact that by the time you get to the end,
If you're
of it,
lucky, 2x6.
correct. Yeah, I'm not in a
2x4.
2x4.
Your house is 2x4?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Dude, they don't care anymore. New houses.
Nobody
How
cares about windows,
grown
I
up.
tell you that. You
Oh,
can spend
dude.
a lot of money and like good
I don't care about windows. I'll put Gen Wells in my house all day, Dave. I let them leak.
Correct. And there ain't a single person that'll ask like, oh, are these better windows that they paid 40 grand for? Or are they just like
Nope. Don't care.
$4,000 windows?
Don't care.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you get a different color, it's like twice the money.
Correct.
So how big?
Stupid.
How big's the shop part? The shop part of the barn?
The house is 40 by 44, and the shop is gonna be 40 by 52.
That's not big enough,
No, I agree.
right? Everybody always wants the shop to be bigger.
I agree.
Build
But it's
another one.
but it's 18 tall, so we can build a loft.
Right.
But he doesn't farm, so he's not talking farm equipment.
No.
He's talking like motorcycles,
No,
four-wheelers,
no
Stage.
boats, stage, poles.
Yep.
just junky old Ford stuff.
glitter. What is that? What do they call those balls that's floating around in the sky?
Disco.
Disco ball.
Disco ball.
What do they call that glitter ball they float in the sky?
Isn't it a
I've
mirrored
got
ball?
big balls.
I wish I remembered really well what order these episodes. come
Corey
out.
is going to start a new company
Corey's
just
new.
called Got Nuts. And it's
Just Nuts.
Just nuts. And it's
Just
just going to be calf nuts.
He's just nuts.
Or maybe we should call it like chestnuts.
Can't.
Or so, I don't know. Like
Why
something
would
nuts.
you put them on your chest?
I don't know. Nuts on your chest.
No. No.
It's all about calf nuts. Rocky
Let's-
Mountain oysters.
Let's go back. Let's go back to. We'll do one more word. Butterfly.
Floating.
It's floating.
Man, museum, since we got old Butterfly Museum here in town.
What?
What?
We have a butterfly museum in town?
Yeah.
What?
Ryman Gardens. I just call it
I was
the
thinking actually
old
at a
butterfly museum. You
freaking
know,
butterfly museum.
Wait,
take your kids in there.
That is a cool place.
It is.
Have you ever been there, Tanner?
Yeah.
The other thing I thought was mowing ditches. My neighbor complains and mow the ditches. You're killing all the butterfly habitat.
Oh, then go somewhere else.
Didn't you say you can't mow ditches in Polk County?
Not until I think you can now. I think it was like July 10th or
What?
something.
Yeah, you're not supposed to mow ditches
All
until
of
a certain
Iowa,
date.
actually.
Why? Habitat.
Habitat for nesting birds.
I guess. I mean, why would you have to mow a ditch? The water's going to get through anyway. So.
It's to keep noxious weeds down.
And ticks.
And your landlord's happy.
And your
Right.
landlord's happy.
Yeah, most people do it just so they can look at me. I've got a nice farm. You should rent me your farm.
Cosmetic.
It's so funny. Like, there's so many different factions of life that I run into. Like, farming is one of the factions, right? That I don't really know. I know like surface level information.
But you hear something farming every day. Right?
Yeah, right.
You're in
It's something I like see. It's like fighting. That's a faction in life that I'm just like not into, you know, or fishing. Fishing, there's like a whole, you know.
Whole industry.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. There's just like, I don't know, y'all are in that faction.
Yeah, I do like fishing though too, but I don't do it as much as I used to.
Yeah.
That's anything though. I love being on airplanes because you get to talk with people that are random, have random stuff. I met a guy that's going to a dentist convention. I'm like, so is it like happening at a dentist convention? He's like, yeah, we're going to Vegas. And we were going to Vegas. This guy's like, we're going to tear it up at this dentist
bet they
convention. And I'm like, so that's like a whole thing.
It's
like,
funny how you get your little pockets because you go to
Oh, man.
bankers meetings and it's the same thing.
They got all their own vendors of all the oral stuff and
I'd go to a dentist convention. They got money.
Lord help the man sitting next to Dave Whitaker on an airplane. He's going
Especially
to
if
have
they-
all the ideas.
Especially
man.
if they're hungover and don't want to talk to nobody. It's
I
a
tell you
wrong
what.
seat to be in.
I did a paper, sociology paper on. Everybody gets quiet when you talk when you're taking off. Nobody said that you're supposed to get quiet. Well, nobody said you can't eat spaghetti with your hands either, but nobody does. So you had to break a social norm. Well, I just talked as loud as I could on the plane, and some people were like, "Dude, we're taking off." I'm like, "Yeah, so."
You think the pilot's gonna stop?
They think you're going to stop because we're talking? No. But they dim the lights. I think it's subliminal from like when you're kids, your teachers dim the lights like you're supposed to be quiet. Shut everything up.
I'm gonna
Everyone
start.
listen for something bad happening.
You're not supposed to do a lot of things on an airplane, Dave. And at certain times on the
If
airplane.
that's the worst thing Dave does is talk, he's probably in the clear.
Luckily, I get paid to talk. I found what works.
All right. So when did you start playing guitar?
I was about 12. I got my first guitar when I was 12. I was 12. And I didn't start
Who gave it to you?
My dad. He bought. I remember going to a music store in York or Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and it was an $89. It's like $89 or $59 Cort. It was like a Fender Strat knockoff. And I had that guitar till I was about 16. I bought a Gibson SG, and I just sat in my room and played AC/DC. Super loud rhythm guitar until I was 16, 17. And then I put it down for a while. And then I was 19. I took it out of my bedroom in Ames and started busking on the corner. First time I took it out of my room, I made $27. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to work at this.
That's a case of beer.
So, as a musician, we should ask you this question as a preface question before we ask any more. You probably get asked a lot of questions about how you started, how you whatever. What's the worst question that you hate?
Why haven't you gone on American Idol?
Oh yeah.
That drives me nuts. But I mean, I get it. People don't have any. They just don't know. It's just like a
Something to talk about.
It's yeah. I mean, they're just.
Hey,
trying
you're
to
like,
make
I'm totally going
conversation.
to America's Got Talent. Why would I go on
Why
America's
would I go on
Didn't
American
you
Idol?
do the thing down at Prairie Meadows?
No. I did the Nash Next thing at
That's
the state
what it was.
fair.
Nash Next?
That's
Yeah.
what it was.
So I mean, that's screwed up because it's all put up. They choose before the competition. It's just like an event. It's a big party. They're paid to throw. And once I found out about that, I felt dirty, man. I was like, this isn't even it's not a competition. It's it's just a commercial for them. And I just, oh man, it just felt weird. And because I didn't find out till afterwards. They already chose, all these other contestants came out and they gave it 118%. And I was just like, I'm kind of, I'm glad to be here, but, and they take that away from them because it meant something to them. Then you find out later, no, that just doesn't mean anything. Radio's dying. It's just like more people listen to this than they are even the major FM stations.
That is true.
you know,
Every FM station, we have more listeners than.
yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's thought put into this,
Oh yeah.
kind of.
There's a little fun.
Well, and what we were talking about, Tanner and I was working on a proposal last night. The people that listen to podcasts are here because they want to be, right? It's not just because it's just like
Well, they're
flipping through the
dedicated.
channels.
They got earbuds in. They're working, and they're active, not passively. They're actively listening.
Yep.
You don't put a podcast on in the background.
No.
I've tried.
You
I
can't.
have tried. It
You
is so
can't.
hard to do.
You can't. I've listened to hundreds of hours of Joe Rogan. You know?
I end up staring at my computer just listening. I'm like, well, this didn't do me any good.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the podcast, but I wasn't getting any actual work
Yep.
done.
Yep. So I want to talk about the album a little bit more because last time I think you had gone down to like Muscle Shoals.
Yeah. So it's actually the same town. So that one album I was working on when I was last here, it was 2 months from release. So I went back and I ran into a different crew of people through one connection to the next. And a buddy of mine, Caleb Elliott, he's an artist. He kind of does like a kind of a Neil Young, more like psychedelic singer-songwriter. Fantastic record. He came out with a new record called Weed, Wine, and Time. And it's probably in my top 10 favorite records. It's like, he's printed on vinyl. He's a cello player initially. And anyway, he took, some sort of, I don't know, encouragement to my songwriting. He's like, you should just write more songs. And I kept writing more songs. And he's like, you should come down and maybe make a record here. Because he's on this like small indie folk label.
Yeah.
And I guess it's indie label, and we made a record, man. It was like the way I've always wanted to make a record. It's super old school. You got 6 people in a room, 7 plus engineering assistant, and it's all everybody's there at the same time. It's not like you do one part and then they ship it off somewhere and then you get the next part. It's like all the bass tracks are cut at the same time and then mastered to tape, or then they're rendered to tape and then they're sent to master. But like that is how all my favorite records are cut that way. Good Lord, is it expensive? But nothing sounds like it, and it's just like that. Whatever that thing is, and behind that bush light there is like, if I hang my hat on that and I never make anything again, I'm happy.
Huh.
I've always that is everything I've ever wanted to be a part of musically.
So tell me about the album art. I was looking at it the other day.
Yep. It was painted by Isaac Denton art. He does like a lot of realistic stuff. He did some stuff for Tyler Childers and Arlen McKinley. He Red Clay Strays. He does a bunch of like stuff. He does realistic like colored, or he does pencil and colored pencil drawings, and then he does watercolor on top of them. It's insane. They look like photos. I gave him a photo and I gave him the record. I said, listen to the record. Here's a photo of me. If you choose to use me or not, no, I don't care. Just tell me what you think. And he pretty much laid it out for me. He's like, I think vines, and he sent me like sketches of stuff, and that was April. And then I didn't get the final. He spent 5 months on it. It was April to October.
Holy smokes.
That's a lot of time.
I know. He spent almost 5.5 months on that commission of a drawing.
So our listeners, we got a picture of Royce. We got like a tree of life in the middle. We got like
A fox and a mink.
a fox, a mink, and a sheep, and then a coffin.
Yeah.
Hold it
And a
up to
tree.
the camera.
Yeah.
And a tree.
Yeah. They're all just kind of like parts of songs from the record, and he did it really good symmetrically because, the fox and the mink represent life and death in a certain sense. And then, the in the same way with the lamb to the box.
Yeah, the vines are like grabbing the lamb.
Dude, he sent me the actual like painting. The color, it's like this big in a big roll. The amount of time he spent on those vines alone.
Yeah.
That's like something you can't just like go buy or do. That guy put his heart and soul in that, man.
Be a good tattoo artist.
I bet.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So after all the time playing, you get to play some crazy spots. What's the craziest thing you've seen
I played at Swingers Club when I was 19.
in the crowd? Okay.
Yeah.
When you're
Dave's
nice,
So they're all swinging to your
Dave's
music?
house?
Private event. Private event.
Yeah, you see all those private events up there?
all swinger clubs.
No, it's nuts. I don't know if I should disclose where, but an undisclosed location.
Just nuts. That's what it was called.
Just nuts.
Just nuts.
Just nuts. No, it was, I was 19, but I'm at 2014, 15, and I was in my rock trio at the time, and we got this call like, hey, it's a private event. No details, just like, here's the address, it pays X. And we're like, cool, we'll be there. We start setting up, and we're looking around, and there's some accessories in this room that are custom built,
Custom built.
like aluminum welded swings and such. And, and and me and my two bandmates, and they're above 60 at the time. And
Over
yeah.
60.
Yeah, and I was looking around, I'm looking at them, and I'm like, okay, all righty. But I seen some things I can't unsee, Dave. I'm scarred for life.
It's part of the inspiration on the album.
I think.
Old Georgie.
Old
Georgie.
No, I like that one. That's a fun one. I don't know. There's a lot of humor in there. I mean, I don't know. I wanted to write a record that it takes you on a trip. If you put it on A to Z, we had so many different like production pieces, like the strings, and I feel like it crosses all the genres that I love in music. It's not just like a hardcore country record. It's kind of like a John Prine record, but it's also there's a lot of country element. I don't know. It's whatever you want to think it is.
Yeah.
Hope you dig it.
I'm sure I will. I know my daughters dig your last album because I made them listen to it quite a bit, and they wanted.
Lord, I apologize.
And they wanted to hear "You Are My Sunshine."
Yeah.
Right. Like they heard it at daycare and all that, and I said, and you know how kids are, like they want to listen to it over and over.
One track mind, children are.
And over. And then I cannot listen to Kids Bop for one more song. So I'm like, all right, here's your "You Are My Sunshine." It's Royce. And she's like, what? And then I'm telling you what, in a day she was singing along with Royce. And then I lost the dang CD.
Yeah.
And Royce was kind enough to send it to me digitally on my phone. So I still have it on my phone.
Here's my
every
masters.
morning. Listen to it this morning.
Do you have a lot of
Are you
CDs in your
serious?
car?
Listen to it this morning.
You're kidding.
No, we listen to it every day.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. God, that's horrible. I can't even listen to that stuff, man. Oh, no.
I have like 2 CDs in my car anymore, and they're both from private artists that I know.
Yep.
You and Kyle Shobe, and they both are country artists that have CDs
That
But
haven't made it.
You're not going to get it, but you're not going to find their CD anywhere else.
Yeah, because they haven't made it.
So I'm
No
saying,
one buys CDs
You're not going to
anymore.
find it on iTunes or something. So
I don't have a CD player in my truck, but we have a CD player in my wife's car. So that's where this is going to go, and we've got a nice long road trip coming up.
Oh, man. Well, that's what it's for. It's 29 minutes and 46 seconds long, so it's meant to be listened to in sequence. I mean, we blended songs, kind of together in certain spots. So I wanted to make a concept record, and I hope it could be a concept record. But rather than just like a bunch of radio singles you slap on a thing, it's meant to be listened to in sequence,
Okay.
like a movie.
Right.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. I had a good question. I lost myself in
You
that.
lost it
I
already?
lost it in the I was thinking
Dave
about
had- Dave
how do
had
you
one of
think
those
about the
today, too.
songs in the order that they go in, not let alone write the dang songs.
It's like the chicken and the egg. I just wrote all of them at random, and then we sequenced them later, kind of, know, how we
it
felt
came.
like.
It came back to me. So you said artists that haven't made it yet. How do you know when you've made it?
That's the joke.
Or you will never make it.
There
right?
is no making it, man. You can be
because that's a good artist, right? You're always striving for the next thing.
yeah. I mean, that's you asked me earlier. What's a question people ask you that drives you nuts? Like when are you gonna make it? It's like, I mean, you want me living in a a Class C motorhome, driving across the country, losing 60,000 a year, but playing to 1,000 people a night? Is that making it? I mean, what's define? I mean, that and being divorced 14 times.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, what is the definition of making it?
Mm-hmm.
And my definition of making is doing what you want
Yeah.
on your own terms, and that's and it might be a cop out, I guess, because people are like, oh man, you could tour and you could blah 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 blah, and then COVID happens, and then all your eggs are in a basket, and someone invested $150,000 in you, and then all of a sudden, guess what,
Yeah.
you just owe them for life.
Yep.
I mean, it's.
Yep.
That's a lot of boats
Well,
that sailed in 2019, 2020. I guarantee it.
How many gigs do you play a year?
Which year?
This year. How
Next
many are you
year.
gonna
This
do?
year. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think this year I'll do probably like 110 20, maybe 100. Depending on how many I take off in the next, like in the winter months, because this year I'll be busy. But
Corey does that. Works about every third day.
Ouch.
Right.
Ouch.
I mean, farmers.
But even then, like you said, the make it. I mean, if you're staying local, you got little travel costs.
yeah,
You've got
I drive a Grand Marquis.
you got little.
All my
doesn't-
equipment's in a Grand Marquis, no trailer.
Yeah. So I mean,
That's all about the stick.
if you can keep your
No, it's functional. I can't even buy like a brand new crew or double cab that can fit all the gear that thing can like.
yeah, but you do all of that, and you travel and do 120 events. You know, I'm not going to ask what your fee is, but that's making it.
80,000. We'll work down from 80,000.
There you go. 120 times 80,000. That's a good living wage, right?
Well, yeah, I'd take that.
You need a manager.
What's your wife do? Doctor.
Stay-
Okay.
yeah,
Got
right.
it. That's what I thought.
Doctor. Yeah. No.
Stay-at-home doctor.
Most farmers I know have a sugar mama. Well, musician could have a sugar mama.
I'd love to be a farmer. I don't even care if I make $1 a year. If I could buy the ground and not have to, and all my bills were paid, you know, and I could just like be on my own for a year. Fantastic.
According to Uncle Sam, that's about all how much we make.
So are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Depends what season. There's summer Royce and winter Royce.
Oh.
Right now we're in summer Royce.
An extrovert this
Yeah. Sometimes. I don't know. It's mostly like when I'm working and I'm working really hard and consistently working, I'm kind of out there. But once winter rolls around, or if I get caught up and I sit around for about 2-3 weeks, it gets dark, Dave.
ADD
It
kicks
gets,
in.
it gets
You
real
start
dark.
thinking, yeah, uh-huh.
You start thinking about everything and everybody and what they're thinking and how they're thinking and why they're thinking, you know.
That happens when you're not moving and shaking. Like you're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
I
have
get-
that next thing, and you're like, where is it?
I don't know, man. I think I got like multiple personality or something goofy going on, but I ain't gonna get assessed. Government don't need to know what's going on upstairs here.
Yep.
I don't blame you one bit, but there are times where, or even with what you got going on, and it's not doing like you want it to, and just you sit back and you go, "What's happening? Why is it happening?"
So do you have a kick like Lainey Wilson does?
A kick.
Well, she's got like something that everybody knows her for.
Big ass.
I was curious if you had something
The peach.
that everybody knew you for.
I don't know, man. I don't know how many people know me. A lot more people know me, and I know them. That's what I know, and that's a weird feeling. I don't really like that feeling, to be honest. The more that's. I shouldn't even be talking about building my house here. You know, people getting on the assessor, find out where I live and shit.
But it is a strange feeling, and I don't know if you feel this way, but we'll go to events, and like we just got back from one in Wisconsin, and people there know who you are. You don't know who they are, and I almost feel apologetic. Like, I'm sorry, I should know who you are, and there's no reason we should. I mean, you do the best that you can to remember who they are.
Yeah.
Simplecast doesn't give us the names of the people that download the podcast.
Right.
Why should we know who it is?
Right.
And I don't know. I feel like it's like if I was to meet Joe Rogan, it'd be like that interaction would. There's nothing genuine about the interaction from like fan to entertainer in a certain. I'm not saying I have fans by any stretch of the imagination. I'm like a dirty hooker that plays on the street corners, and if you dig it, great. But like I'm just saying, like that's a weird interaction though. Like I mean, you guys are in front of more people than I am. Digitally. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean,
Well, you did quit TikTok.
I've done the math, Corey. But no, I'm just saying, like, it's people can't expect you guys to like. I mean, you have families and stuff. It's not, I don't know.
But it is fun when you do remember somebody, and it might not even be their name,
But what you talked about.
Yeah, you remember talking
Right.
to them at National Farm Machinery Show, or you remember seeing them when they came to Burkhardt Steel, or whatever it was.
Oh, he called me. I got to call him
Yeah,
back.
you come across those things, and it is fun. You're like, I do remember the story.
I don't know. I answer the phone. Anybody that calls me, and I used to have my phone number online, and then about 4 years ago I had to take it off. But like, still, like random people, like it's just weird. Like random people call me from, hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh yeah, great.
You heard our intro. We encourage it.
There
We're
is
a glutton
don't
for
care.
punishment.
There is my rant for the day. A couple local restaurants don't have their phone number online. Like, how do you not have your phone number on your website? No Google Place, no nothing. I'm like, okay, you have business. I'm just trying to call to find your hours or to place an order or whatever. Nope, don't have a phone number online. Like, So you expect me to just order online?
Yes.
Yes, but then they didn't even have that. So I was trying to figure their hours to see if they'd still be serving so my kids could get food after the game.
Sure.
No phone number. So I emailed them instead and said, why don't you have your phone number? And the guy called me immediately.
Wow.
It was like 2 minutes later. He's like, what do you need? I was like, why don't you have a phone number on there? And he's like, well, because I'll answer an email.
We call you. Don't call us.
But there's something to be said, like the older I get, and as funny as this sounds, the more unreachable I like to be, or like untouchable, like the more people that can just reach out and call you and drag you into their day. Mm-hmm. It's not good. It's not like we, as a species, of people. I'm just saying, like your tribe shouldn't be 100,000 people that can just talk to you and drag you into their life and whatever. That's not normal. No. That's not okay. That's an internet thing.
Dave's thing.
If you're a listener, don't be a realtor.
Dave answers every phone call. I don't answer numbers I don't know.
Yeah,
I have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
But if
you're
it's
in
important,
business, you have to.
If it's important, they'll.
Well, that's what killed me. These were businesses that didn't have a phone number.
I golfed with another realtor that said that his average response time is 5 minutes and 50 seconds.
It's terrifying.
And he says that that's not fast enough because he'll call somebody back and
already-
they'll already find someone else to show the house.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I found too. That was one of the main reasons I got out of the whole thing. I'm like, these interactions are so like the foundation of them. It's so fickle.
Yeah, because I can play that 6-hour round of golf, and if I called them back at the end of the day before 5 or before 6, that's still good enough to get to bid a deal.
Right. I mean,
Not
you
for
can't
me.
live your whole life thinking, God, I got to answer the phone every 5 minutes or be available on the whim of any human being in 5 minutes. I mean, how miserable are you going to be,
Yeah.
I mean, at what point do
But
you
a lot
not-
of people do it.
I know, man, but it ain't for me.
Cell phones made that a whole lot worse. Like back in the day, it wasn't even a thing. But
Yeah, there was a meme, not a meme, but that's funny. It was we were free when phones had cords. Mm-hmm. That's when we quit becoming free.
Yeah.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
You think I'm kidding, but once I move out into my woods, man, I'm thinking about getting a flip phone. I'm this close. I think with
do they make a flip phone?
Yeah.
Other than the jitterbug for like old people?
No, I'll go to Walmart and get a burner for $30 a year, dude.
Android has a flip phone. Now.
Oh, dude.
It's
Not
a
even an
smartphone.
Android.
A
I don't.
smartphone.
Not even no. I just want, if you need something, call me.
Go
Yeah,
back
wait
to a
for that.
landline, man.
I hate it when I call somebody and they text me
costs
back like,
more.
what do you need?
You just play Snake on the flip phone.
Oh, yeah. T9.
T9 text. That's where it's at.
Right.
Tell me this, Dave. If you had $1 billion right now, you would not have a cell phone. You'd have a flip phone with phone numbers.
No, I would still have a cell phone, but I'd have somebody else that answers all my calls.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. You'd have a handler, like David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
David Lee Roth has a handler.
Yeah, probably.
No, you'd have a flip phone. You wouldn't even need an iPhone,
Well, I would have the phone to play games.
Because you'd have everybody
Scroll.
to do it for you. You wouldn't have to look at your stocks because there'd be somebody that
Yep.
manages it.
I don't
You
want
would-
any notifications. I don't want to know.
Well, you just got to be a billionaire.
I want to
Get
know
her
in
handled.
I want to know in 24 hours. If I'm serious, if it can't be sent in an email, why does it have to happen right now? Every day I get on my computer at 6 a.m. and I look at my email and I respond to things. And it's like, if it can't wait 24 hours, call an ambulance.
See, I start my emails at 6 a.m. and I don't think I get done answering them, the 4 different inboxes, until like freaking noon. Then it's time to eat. By the time I come back from lunch, it's full again.
Jeez.
It's another good meme. This meeting could have been an email.
Yes, I'll give you that. I could have saved
Did
2
you
hours.
take truck stop souvenirs off TikTok?
No. So when TikTok got about 2 years ago, they cracked down on if it's not released from the artist's actual sound, they take it off. So at one point there was like people who would just, I don't know, however it worked through Musical.ly or something, when they were kind of going through that 21 and 2020 transfer. Mm-hmm. You could just take a song and then make a TikTok to it, right? Without you could just hashtag this sound.
Yeah.
And then something changed where they took all those off, and there's millions of one of them had 500,000 likes, not even just views.
Yeah.
Really?
Huge.
Yeah, dude. There's 8. I remember I counted. It was 850 videos of people TikToking truck stop souvenirs, and there was millions and millions and millions. And then it got all wiped once that copyright crackdown came out. And I wasn't even on TikTok. John Musicman sent me that. He's just like, hey, your song's on this thing. And I'm like, what's this thing?
You had TikTok
Back
for
in
a
the
little
old
bit, didn't you?
days.
You tried it.
I
very
did
briefly.
about a year ago. I just in my basement. I was just doing covers.
What's
or
the
something.
next bit? From MySpace to Facebook to TikTok to Twitter. What's next?
Well, supposedly it's out. What is it called? Fresh? What's it? Thread? Thread it?
No idea.
It's that thing I told Emma we need to get an account on. Threads?
Oh, that's what that was? I had no idea what
Yeah.
that was. I was like, what is Tanner talking about?
Elon Musk is Zuckerberg's trying to take down Elon Musk. And so he created a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter combo. I think it's called Threads.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about your podcast? Is that done?
Yeah, I did 8 episodes during 2020. I ran out of guests. Really,
That's why we've got you back.
I was filming it. Well, then I had a couple guests. We did like a 3-hour podcast, and I like to send it to them before I upload it out of respect. I was like, if there's anything, and then I know, and then
We know how that goes.
I know, and then people are like, oh, I said I don't like the way this sounded. I said this. Yeah, well, my goal was to not edit it. It's a live format. You say what you say, and it's going online. And then after I had about 1.5 people say, I don't think I want to upload this, I'm like,
Not 1 3/4, 1
No.
5/8. I'm talking
1.5.
1.5.
Well, because I spent, you spend a day on it, editing 2 cameras in HD. It's like I'm sitting there, going back to the multicam, cleaning up the audio, and I'm like, I got a kid screaming at me.
Yeah.
This ain't worth it.
I could see that. Yeah, and you had long shows. You were Joe Rogan.
I was doing 3-hour shows.
I listened to it, man. Like
You
I was
did?
like,
Oh, no.
Because you sent it to me, like, hey, share my stuff. I'm like, I'll listen, and I think I shared it for you. And
I know I listened to part of one. I didn't get all the way
Yeah.
through it.
They're still up there. I tried to. I deleted the account on Podbean,
Yeah.
but the podcasts are still up. There's a bunch of shit on there I probably shouldn't have said.
Eh.
That's okay though.
I enjoy it because it's kind of like you with farming, right? Like you're in it, not in it, you're around it, right? I know you.
I guess.
I like listening to music. I like hearing the inner thoughts of a musician and how it goes through. I listen to every Wheeler Walker Jr. podcast and
my
all
God,
that stuff.
dude.
So like, yeah, I don't even know if he still has one.
Well, if you listen to all of them.
I listened to all of them back in the day. Back
Good
when
Lord,
I
he's
don't
so
hardly
funny.
listen to podcasts as much as I used to.
That's true.
All right. I'm going to play Would You Rather with you for a
boy.
second.
We're going to close out with Would You Rather?
This is a good one. I got to go with it. Would you rather lose your voice or be unable to play guitar?
Unable to play guitar at this point. Can't. I could. There's a lot of guitar players out there I could hire.
Fair enough.
I think we know the answer to a lot of these already. So that might just be the way to shut this thing out.
We got to ask him the
kind of
question, and we got to have him
Yeah.
play it out.
Yeah.
And did we miss anything? Is there anything you want to announce about the upcoming album or?
Nope. If you, I should have brought my QR. I ordered. So I'm hiring Policy Works to represent this record, and they're just going to reach out. They're like an Iowa-based publicist company.
Yep.
And I'm kind of letting them put it out August 1st before I start giving out like the QR codes and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, you can just have to keep up. I'll be on Facebook and my website.
You
but-
should, since this drops the 3rd, you should send us the QR code and the album art, and we'll make that the album art for the episode.
That'd be good.
So you don't have to do it today. We got a couple of days.
I have it on my phone. It's on my Dropbox.
So yes, that would be really good.
Remind me before I leave. I'll text it to you.
Absolutely. Okay, so the payoff question. What would you go back and tell yourself at age 18 if you could stand next to little Royce? I always assumed like people were smaller when they were 18.
I've been the same size
I
for
was gonna
10
say
years.
It's probably about the same.
Oh, dude, look at this. Look at this. Look, it's balancing.
Wow.
On 2 out of. This is like a coin. This is a miracle. Oh, but it's the cord.
He was pointing. He was pointing down. I didn't know what I was.
When he
supposed
said
to do.
little Royce, and then he's going like this. Look at this. Look at this. Look
Take a
at
look
this.
here.
It's getting a little hard.
Tanner, I want you to take a look at this. Hey,
Kyle,
can I get a second opinion here?
Little Royce.
Will you
Look
make
at
this
this. Look at this.
This is a bonus clip. We want Little Royce as a clip.
It's like Deuce Bigelow. What's? You want to take a look at this?
It's like a tripod.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
What would you go back and tell Little Royce? Look at this. Look at this.
I'd just say,
No,
look
not-
at it.
not
It
Little
does
Royce.
get bigger.
I'm not the same size I was at 18.
It doesn't. No. I don't know. I would probably say go be a plumber because by 2023 you'll be a gangster.
A gangster.
Because the real gangsters are plumbers and concrete guys nowadays.
They got all the monies, huh?
No, they just run your life.
Says the guy that's building a house.
Good Lord.
That must be at plumbing stage.
Are you generally not yourself?
What's that?
Are you a general contractor for your house yourself?
Yeah, and I'll be framing the inside myself. I mean, they're building. I got a guy building this shell, Gingrich Structures out of Missouri Valley. They're actually. I mean, they're putting the metal on. I mean, they got five guys. You know, I mean, there's no way by myself. Like set and post. They popped on 24 trusses in. It was like 3 hours. I remember I got there at like 2, and by 6 they were done setting trusses. I mean, it's nuts. They're up there with no harnesses, just Anyway, but yeah,
Good old Amish or ex-Amish labor.
yeah, they're all ex. They were 16, 17, 18, 4 16, 17, 18-year-old ex-Amish kids up there. I mean, dude, just building America. I mean, like they're more skilled at that age than most. They're more handy
100%.
than most 30-year-olds I know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like building a plum building.
You ever seen that deal where the guy from Dumb and Dumber, Jeff Daniels, is on Newsroom? The clip where he says America's not the greatest country in the world.
No.
Have you seen
Have
that?
you seen that?
No.
Yeah, I've seen that. In the college. Where
Yep, in the college room.
Yeah, yep.
Hopefully listeners have heard that before. If you've watched that, Jeff Daniels in Newsroom, the little clip. But the moderator says, I'm going to hold you to an answer on this one. I'm going to be that moderator, rather. But am I saying that right? Moderator?
You are, but you
Moderator.
haven't had anything to drink.
So here's the deal. You didn't really give us an answer.
Well, no.
What would you tell
We
yourself
just got
at 18?
sidetracked.
If I'm that moderator and says, I'm going to hold you to the answer.
You want a serious answer?
Yeah.
No, we want Royce's answer.
Oh man. Most adults are just teenagers with more money. Don't trust everything they say. Take into consideration what they say and listen to them, but make your own decisions. And I don't know. Work a little harder.
You can tell yourself to work harder.
I don't know. I mean,
Most adults are teenagers with more money.
That's true.
don't pay any contractor up front.
Now that one's serious.
Because you don't ever. I mean,
Don't
you
ever
still
assume
think of
it.
yourself as like young you, right? Like,
Right.
oh, it sucks getting old.
All right, here's the challenge. You two got to go watch the Jeff Daniels Newsroom clip.
I'll pull it up.
It's really good.
It
It's
is.
really
It's
good.
long. But
We're
it's
36 in the world that believes in angels, or like fourth in the we're the
Yep.
fourth biggest capita that believes in angels. But
I think I have. I think I have seen that now that you say that.
I still have it. So what do you want to do to send us out?
I was gonna send you this QR code, but
Oh, he's going to send you out with a QR code.
I don't know.
Oh, a little SpongeBob?
Dude, we were.
Figured he was.
My daughter loves SpongeBob. She's 3.5, and she like that intro. You know where it's got the fish.
Yep.
The fish opens its mouth.
Yep.
She like loses it.
Oh, yeah.
As if it's like Christmas morning every time that fish does that thing.
Yep.
But I mean, if you as an adult, go back and rewatch the first season of SpongeBob, it's probably the most genius animation.
It's a good one.
I mean, just the storytelling is hilarious.
Yep.
I mean, I think this is the first song on the record.
Wish I was.
Wish I was an old oak tree, standing tall, big as can be. Only worry I got's when my leaves leave me. Wish I was an old oak tree. Wish I was a skipping stone, tossed out to the great unknown. I ride on the water till I sink down alone. Wish I was a skipping stone. Wish I was that carefree. without a worry, without a need. Troubles to the wind, now to touch. I ain't there, but I wish I was. I wish I was a newborn sheep, running with the herd wherever they lead. Don't know my own way, but that's fine by me. Wish I was a newborn sheep. I wish I was a croaking toad, singing songs to high and low. Wouldn't care who'd hear it, just thought they should know. Wish I was a croaking toad. Wish I was that carefree, without a worry, without a need. Troubles to the wind and out of touch. I ain't there, but I wish I was. Wish I was a shooting star, handing out wishes wherever they are. Pick 'em on up and just take 'em too far. Wish I was a shooting star. Wish I was that carefree, without a worry, without a need. Troubles to the wind and out of touch. I ain't there, but I wish I was. Oh, I ain't there, but I wish I was.
Nice.
Dave, what did that make you think of? Did that make you think of any songs or anything?
I was just thinking it was his life story.
Dude, it made me think of songs on the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou"
Oh yeah,
I did a little bit, yeah.
album, or not? Yeah, the album for that movie.
Dan Trzymski from Union Station sang all those songs.
Next, as this comes out next week, I'll be looking out over some water, a nice little vacation. But just imagine, it was a peaceful feeling sitting on the end of the dock. Maybe if I carried a couple of stones down, but now the tree on the album makes a little more sense.
yeah.
What's "Thank You Kindly" about?
It's kind of like a letter to my daughter in a certain sense. You know, it's like if I don't know, you have to just.
I mean, it's obviously it's the name of the album.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I liked. Honestly, it was almost like an outtake. Like when I wrote it, I was like, I didn't think anything of it, and once you go from that process to actual recording it and getting roughs and a masters, I love the production of it. I mean, even if you took my voice out of it, like the strings they brought in and just how large of a sound it became, you know. And I don't know. I thought we had a lot of back and forth, you know, on what song. It's always hard to pick a title.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, it was really tough. But I don't know. I like the phrase of it. It's common speak. It's a song title no one else has done.
Right.
You know. So I don't know. It was semi commercial out, but at the same time, I really liked the way the song came out, and I feel like it kind of encompasses the whole thing.
very cool.
So can listeners download it?
Not yet, no. August 1st.
So technically, yes, you can right now because this will be August 3rd when this comes out.
Yeah. So, so if you go to Spotify or Apple Music, type in Royce Johns, you'll find it.
Get him a couple pennies.
I think it's like 2/10 of a penny now per stream. 3/10 of a penny.
Oh my goodness.
So 1 million streams is $3,000 if you own publishing and mechanical. And that's like on the higher end.
Podcasting pays better.
I hope so. What do you guys get, like a nickel per download?
Nope, not quite that high. 3 cents.
Nothing.
I'd take 3 cents on 1 million downloads.
That'd be all right.
Ooh,
I could buy a new Grand Marquee.
There you go.
I can buy a Grand Marquee.
Grand Marquee.
Okay.
Well, we better wrap it up, or we'll end up with a 3-hour Royce Johns podcast.
There you go, Corey. What do you say?
Why not?
Say a crack a bush light. You deserve it.